Beyond the Hood, stories and strategies to fuel dealer growth.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Beyond the Hood with Tractor Zoom. I'm your host, Andy Campbell, and our guest today needs no introduction in the world of used farm equipment. In fact, I just got to spend the last couple of days with him down in Nashville at the Moving Iron Summit. And this gentleman not only can teach you a ton about how to manage used farm equipment. I mean, he helps manage one of the largest dealerships in the world, but his take on life will leave you with a smile, to put it simply. There's a great philosophical conversation that he and I have, as well as getting into the technicals of what he sees in the market and where he thinks this market might be going in 2025. So without wasting any more time, I want to introduce to you Don Aberle of Titan Machinery, the Senior Manager of Used Equipment and Sales. Let's begin that conversation right now.
Don Aberle from Titan Machinery. The used equipment guy here. Been with Titan for about 23 years. Have always gravitated towards the used equipment side of it. I do bathrooms on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so if you need any
multifaceted.
any janitorial work, you let me know. But I've always been around used equipment, and maybe that's why I gravitated into this role. We also do lead up the team for inside sales here at the company. But again, most everything I do is about used equipment.
Okay. Well, then this next question should be right up your alley about challenges that we're facing right now at the end of 24. Could be inside sales question as well, but what are some of the biggest challenges that you at Titan are facing as we get to like a month, 2 months away from the end of 2024?
I think like most dealerships, the challenges we all face in these down cycles is dealing with the pricing. You know, what we bought that unit for, whatever value we might have given 6 months ago, 12 months ago, and that's probably the biggest thing is a lot of the values on the machines were given a while back when that deal was done, right? Mm-hmm. But because of the manufacturer delays in deliveries, you know, during COVID, and then trying to get out of that, some of those values from, well, we all know this, a year ago, 6 months ago, are completely wrong. I'd say one of the biggest challenges that dealerships face, and even us, although we do have a pretty consistent pricing review process to try to keep up with the downturn. Mm-hmm. But one of the challenges is that value, or what you wrote a check for that unit, or when you made that deal, right? You might have told that farm $100,000 and now that unit's worth $90,000. As a dealership, though, you're not about to go back out to that customer and tell them $90,000, right? You're going to honor your deal. Mm-hmm. I think we've recently seen a TikTok thing that I would recommend not doing that. Dealerships are the when it comes to farming, those communities, that dealership is like the coffee shop, right, for the farmers. Mm-hmm. You're a trusted partner. Your word means everything, and regardless of the situation, you keep your word. I know that question was about challenges, but it is just one of those things. Mm-hmm. And that challenge is, you told them it was worth $100, now it's only worth $90, but you're writing a check. The equipment showed up, and now you're doing the financing part of it. Now checks or money's exchanging hands, and you lost $10,000, right? A smaller dealership, it hurts just as bad as a big dealership, because the big dealership has, maybe more deals, right?
Right.
But it's all relative. Mm-hmm. It still hurts.
Right. Yeah.
So that's what one of the challenges is knowing that you're honoring that deal, knowing that you're keeping that word when the new unit shows up, knowing that you're already behind the 8 ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I see how that's tough for dealerships. And as a farmer, though, I can also appreciate how important that is for the continuity of running your operation, because we've been down 3 times this year with combine issues, and having that trust of, okay, if it does go down, can you call somebody? Can you get parts? Even if you have to drive a little further to get the part, can it arrive? Because if you don't have that assurance that you can keep on running, it's hard to even fathom how you get a crop in.
We go back to loyalty or farmers still loyal. Farmers, I believe, by and large, are loyal to that dealership, to that dealership that's going to come out and service you at 10 o'clock at night, or I can call 24/7. Since when does a farmer work 8 to 5, right?
Yeah, not since I've been here.
That dealership trust and that relationship with that farmer is absolutely critical. In all my years of type machinery, that has always been Dave Meyer as our CEO. Peter Christensen used back in the day, but Dave Meyer mainly, and now B.J. Knutson. I mean, there's just, from the very top, the number one thing is that customer. And I believe that in a lot of dealerships, that number one thing is the customer.
Well, good. And this might then lead into the second question I wanted to ask you. So I might even ask you for two of the positives that you're looking forward to, that you've either seen this year or you're looking forward to next year. And let's just assume one is customer loyalty, because I do agree with you that it's something that can carry people through some low times. But are there any other positives that you're seeing or hoping?
Back to low times, it goes both ways. Dealerships, that loyalty from the customer back to the dealership, the loyalty from the dealership to the customer, it helps out both of us in the low times. The positives? The positives is we've been through this before. Every dealership has been through it before. As long as you stay consistent, right? If you've implemented processes, what I'm excited about is type machinery through the many years and a lot of great leaders before us. I mean, there's just processes that we have in place that will help us get through this time. Will it have an impact on our margins? Sure it will. Will it have an impact on our cash flow? Sure it will. But the positive is that there's minimal concern because of those processes that are in place, that you have to have in place, or you should have in place.
Right.
Because the positives. So I just got to bring back up. So 14, 15, 16, 17, right? We all went through it.
Mm-hmm.
And the positives for us is the willingness to change, the willingness to put new ideas into place, and that has occurred. So the positive for me at Type Machinery is that there's concern, but very limited concern from the standpoint of how we will come through it, because of the processes and the things we've learned from before. From the customer point of view, I think the positive is that they might not be buying equipment from us, but there's dealerships, whether green, red, or whatever. So now they're not going to buy equipment because they might not have the income, right? They might spend a few more dollars on parts and service, but they have their local dealerships that loyalty to their local dealership. They're going to get the service to repair their machines.
Mm-hmm.
The positive is that we don't necessarily have the parts challenges that we had over the previous few years in terms of supply of getting parts in a timely manner. So I'd say the positive customer side is they have local dealerships that fix the machines. Positive for the dealerships that made changes a few years back is that this downturn is not going to be so concerning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I like how you put that too, with the willingness to adopt the processes, or hopefully have them in place if you don't. And we've seen the same thing from progressive dealers that saying, okay, now is the time to really get our stuff together, streamline, and buckle down if we haven't yet, or implement those processes. And you start to see that mindset, the benefit of the mindset in certain dealers that say, okay, this is the time for us to get better. Kind of the iron sharpens iron.
Better. If we have a weekly meeting called Be Better. I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's just be better than yesterday. Be better than last week. It's a mindset that has come from the top down about being better. So I got to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
So you're a farmer, right?
Yep.
Right, and with a side job called Tractor Zoom.
Right. I'm not sure which one becomes the side job and which one's which one occupies more.
But you've been involved in buying and selling, or buying and trading your equipment for years, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that salesman's coming out and trying to do a deal with you, and he's giving you a boot number, and you're asking how much you're giving for my unit, right? You've been part of
Right.
those?
Mm-hmm.
You as a customer, what has changed from how they used to do it to how they're doing it now? Is there a change?
Yeah. How the dealership is approaching it.
How that salesman is giving you a value and or structuring the deal. How has it changed from 10 years ago to what it is now?
I'd say not all experiences have changed. So, some salesmen, some dealerships have changed on the approach. Some are more traditional, still of like, here it is, take it, leave it. Especially the last few years, it was certainly a take it or leave it. There's another buyer stacked up behind it. The now though, I think especially this year, you can see it behind the scenes of trying to move the chess pieces before they arrive on a dealer's lots. So a lot more of, kind of like a house, like this sale is contingent on another farmer who is going to hopefully accept a piece of machinery, and which is largely due to the higher interest rates, I'm assuming, and the unwillingness to take that extra holding cost on. And so we see a lot more of those kind of contingent type of deals. The one thing that I'm starting to see a little bit more of now is the presentation of data. Of before there wasn't the transparency within the marketplace of, I know what everything's sold for, and the farmer knows almost now more than maybe what a dealer is of what all the local sales are, and I'd say I'm starting to see on the farmer side of it is that realization and acknowledgement that the farmer has just as good of data and transparent to the market as what I do.
I always joke about the insanity. We all know the definition of insanity: doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, as you talk about data, there's so much data both for the farmer and for the dealership. But to go out and, at the end of the day, a dealership is buying your equipment. A $500,000 piece, and they're telling you $100,000 to boot. Well, the farmer, the dealership, paid the $500,000 for the new one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Paying $400,000 for your used piece. I'm only getting $100,000 out of you.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of gosh darn cash outlay, right?
Right.
Where I'm talking about the insanity is that people, say this, you have some dealerships, and we know this, to where they still do trades. That's why I asked you, how has it changed for you? Is that they still go to whatever website, look at a couple unsold items and say, we're going to give that guy whatever value for his machine, without looking at their sold data, without looking at recent auction results. And to me, that's the biggest change from years ago to what it is now, and why I'm so positive and not so concerned about certain things. Because there's so much data that progressive dealerships that are using to make better decisions.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Yeah, we don't see it all across the board, but we're starting to see more and more of it, for sure.
Well, how much of, again, back to the customer, in your mind,
Mm-hmm.
how much, and it's maybe wrong to ask you this because you're on the data side too, but how much do you think equipment has gone up in the last 3 years?
Oh, I'd say almost 100%.
Yeah.
They almost doubled in the last 3 years from what we're, paying in terms of an input as a farm, especially if we're to keep up. We haven't replenished our equipment recently, but about 100%.
I guess where I was going with that is that the costs have gone up so much, but yet we still are doing things the way we used to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Not us. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
We all need to not all. I'm just saying you have to change. You can't keep doing the same things over and over again.
Right.
And again,
this is a different ballgame.
There's the positive going into this current downturn. I mean, the reason I'm positive about it is just because of all the changes we made.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're more aggressive on certain things. We're adjusting pricing maybe faster than normal. We're not going to be sitting here 3 years from now with a bunch of used equipment. I mean, it's a pretty positive thing with Titan Machinery.
Yeah, that's good.
I know many green guys, same type of thing, of how they used to operate to what they operate now. It's different.
Hey everybody, a quick break from the show, and then we're going to get you right back to the conversation. But I wanted to take a moment to let you know how Tractor Zoom is partnering with all of our dealership partners to fuel their dealership growth. We're doing that with Tractor Zoom Pro to give people better valuations, faster access to it, and the ability to manage their inventory using AI, using large data. Even if their dealership doesn't have the capacity to develop the AI and the large data themselves, it's all there within Tractor Zoom Pro. And also with Anvil Pro, integrated business systems solution. You can actually cut costs by integrating solutions, not paying for all these extra one-offs, and keep people in the same solution so you're not constantly switching screens. And then you could optimize your workflows, do a lot of things with automation that technology should be able to do right now. So just two ways that Tractor Zoom is working with our dealer partners to really help them fuel their dealership growth. Okay, you can check out some links in the show notes. You can also go to TractorZoomPro.com to check all that stuff out. But we'd love to at least show you all the different ways that we're helping our dealership partners. Okay, let's get back to the show. Hope you're enjoying it.
And that kind of gets to the next question. I'm probably going to even skip asking you this question because the next one I was going to ask you is strategies that you're implementing to move more equipment now, or ways that you've adapted now versus the way things were before. And so what I hear you say is, pricing, looking at repricing more frequently, using data to make your decisions, probably a lower overall stock of inventory going forward for the foreseeable future, I imagine, right?
All those things. You adjust your ordering. We joked, there's let's call it a short line order. I don't want to throw anybody underneath the bus, but I'll just call it short line, meaning non-Case IH, would be a not a main manufacturer.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, you need to order because it's not available for 12 months, 18 months, right? You need to order extra. Counterpart or made a calendar event. This is just funny. For 2 years from that conversation. And the calendar event came up here just a few days ago. In October of 2024, the calendar event was originated in October of 2022. And the meeting was going to be about aged, new short lines that were on our lot because we over-ordered. Just the biggest thing about during the COVID years, we all just need to put it out of our mind.
Mm-hmm.
Don't use any data points from it. Don't use any selling tactics from it. Just put it out of our mind. It's not natural. It's not normal. Unprecedented. And we just need to forget about those 3 years.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Appreciate that they were here, but same thing on the farm. I'm not expecting $7 corn anytime soon.
Well, $7 corn, 3.5% interest, 3% interest, right?
Mm-hmm.
To answer your question, though, I sort of went off on a tangent there about the changes. Yes, faster price changes, maybe more aggressive price changes than we did in the past. You can buy down the interest costs as much as you want. If the farmer income is not there, it doesn't matter how low the interest costs, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's about when they do need to buy, that your equipment is on current market pricing. It's not like they're just going to quit buying. I mean, people still have need. They still have aged inventory. People still break down.
Mm-hmm.
There's still activity going on. They're still farming. Just because the commodity prices are low and equipment values are taking a steep dive, doesn't mean that you're not going to be farming or harvesting, right?
Right.
So
I'm doing my part in breaking the combine down. So I'm flushing that stuff through the system.
even though it's green, we do appreciate it. Okay, parts and service does appreciate it when you break down. How's your is the Lego combine still working?
The Lego combine, it worked for a little while. And actually, it was probably 300 bushel corn that ended up breaking the gearbox on the bubbler auger. So I can't complain that much about it, but that was a relatively quick fix. The next one was.
That's funny. You're right. You have nothing to complain about. 300 bushel corn. Yeah, we'll have a few broken pieces, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And say thank you for those broken pieces.
Yep. Good. Okay, so I want to take the conversation and let's shift forward then a little bit and look, maybe add some more granular things and also into 2025 beyond. So we kind of already hit on the interest rates or financing. Well, actually, we hit on interest rates. Financing, that was actually maybe a good question. Are you guys seeing any effect, whether it's OEM level financing or being creative with financing deals and helping move used equipment?
All the above.
Yeah.
I mean, you're creative, whether it be internal programs, whether it be buying down interest rates, whether the manufacturer programs. I mean, you use everything in the arsenal. I mean, to buy down interest rate to 0%, I mean, you truly think about it. You kind of laugh sometimes when it's 0% for 3 years. We all know it's not 0% for 3 years. Somebody's paying for it.
Right. Money's got to come from somewhere.
It might not be that farmer, but somebody's paying, or that consumer, but somebody's paying for it. But you try buying down interest from 7.5% or 7% or 6.5% down to 0% on a 3-year term. It's a few dollars.
Yeah, it is, especially when you're talking new equipment or even like new, 6 figures at 6%. That's a lot.
To answer your, everybody's being creative, but it still comes down to the income. I mean, if your unit is sitting there and it's working, maybe if you have a $50,000 repair bill, then maybe do I buy? But if a $10,000-$20,000 repair bill, I think I'll repair it and I'll wait a year.
Yep.
But again, as I said earlier, this is nothing new. Dealerships have been through it. The good dealerships, the ones that change, they're the ones that change. It's just a different way of doing business now. I always laugh. People say it was going back to normal. The funny thing is, we should have stayed normal even during the hot times. Right?
Right. Yeah. Best time to fix the roof is when the sun is shining.
That is correct. I had a good counterpart here at Titan that strongly suggested that we should have, even when we had low inventory, that we possibly should have done some auction stuff during the peak times.
Really?
It's about keeping inventory low, right? Auctions are a bad thing. I don't want anybody to send me hate mail. We're in the retail business. We're here to take farmers. We're here to give them good values for their used equipment. We're not an auction place, but we all know we all use auctions for bandwidth to get rid of some inventory and get it off our books. I'm just saying that colleague of mine that suggested it, the auction results would have been a hell of a lot better than what dealers are getting now. I think his point was to be opposite of what everybody else is doing, right?
Yeah, there's some wisdom in that. Zig when everybody else zags.
Yeah. So to answer your question about the creative stuff, financing, warranty, extended warranties, those type of things. This little shout out for Titan Machinery. So every used equipment at Titan Machinery that is 7 years or newer comes with a warranty. Granted, there's some hour limitations there, and in 4 years you get a little bit better warranty, but you get a warranty. And not every dealership across the country does that.
I did not know that.
Oh yeah. Anything that you buy that for sure is 4 years or younger, you get one hell of a warranty.
That's good. I've got some analysis I just did for that last webinar, and some I'm going to do focused on warranty, remaining warranty on used, and just see what valuation separation that provides versus things that don't have warranty. And my initial stab at it shows significant difference.
Yes, and I even tell so I do my team does the evaluations. We use data points, and our job is to be reflective of the market, not the auction market. Be reflective of what a dealership should be able to do, and put a value on that machine. If I know that there's warranty on that machine, whether it be a 2-year premier warranty or even a year premier warranty, that used unit is going to get extra value. Does it get diminished a little bit in this steep decline? Sure it does, because it's a race to the bottom. But as things level out, maybe at the end of 2025, early 2026, those units with that warranty is going to be a higher value, at a premium value compared to a unit that does not have it, for sure.
Okay, so on that topic, not warranties, but call it attachments that you're trying to value, things that are not necessarily hard bolted on by the manufacturer. So I'm talking upgrade kits on planters, any kind of technology, GPS units. How do you guys? I mean, the potential variability is a lot, right? If you talk about all the different bolt-ons after OEM upgrade kits, how do you place a value on that type of equipment?
I'll say this about kits. There's always been upgrade kits. There's always been something, whether it be 10 years ago, 15 years ago, whatever. Okay. Do we put an extra special value because of some fancy kit? I'm going to answer it 2 ways. One with a statement from a pretty good colleague of mine named Sam. When it comes to precision, his argument is that you put precision on a unit and he trades it in 2 years. Is there value to that precision equipment? So I'm going to ask you first before I answer. You as a farmer, you just spent $50,000 or $100,000 on a precision kit. How much do you as a farmer think it's worth 2 years from now?
To me or to somebody else?
However, you paid $100,000. You're one that wrote the check.
$100,000 may be steep for me to invest in the precision, but that's just for our farm.
Call it $50,000.
Right. To answer your question, if it's doing what I think it should be doing, I think it should still have value. Call it $40,000. I don't think it would depreciate as long as I invested in it and I still believe in it. I think it would have a high retention value.
Not to you.
To me. But, right, and that's where I think the precision piece gets really tricky, is because, it depends on my farm, my ground, my equipment, and the research that I've done online and who I follow to think of that ROI. It may not translate to the guy just across the field, because his field might even be square like mine, but he's looking at a different website and getting his research from somewhere else, right?
So $50,000 with 30% margins. Okay. Mm-hmm. We know all technology. The minute you buy it, you lost 50% in value. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, back to Sam. His comment to me one day. He goes, "I think it's worth nothing." The farmer got the return for that unit in the field already. Right?
Potentially.
You look at you're on the auction data side quite a bit, and I know that you've looked at it, Andy, because of the way that your data mining goes. You tell me, how much of a different auction result is there? Same model, same everything. Let's take a John Deere. Mm-hmm. John Deere's a popular planter.
Yep.
I'm not going to say DB60 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
One has precision, one does not. What's the value difference at the auction?
The only difference I can tell you there, and I have looked at the DB60s, The difference is on the electric drives. So, because you do need an electric drive if you want to expand out and go precision.
Right.
And so you will find a value differential there. You might get some on like a bulk fill or liquid fertilizer or something, but you when you start talking about the actual precision, you don't see it.
No,
you don't at all. The capability, yes, but the precision, the upgrade kits itself, you don't see that translate into the auction values.
well, your question
N
was,
is really small. There's not many sample sizes to compare apples to apples, but
that's
right.
the tough thing about the data points. I mean, people that are a lot smarter than me and the people that went to school for it, we all know that a few data points does not tell the story. Give me 1,000 data points, tells a pretty good story. To your question, though, what value do we put on those kits, those attachments, and those type of things? Not a lot, right? Back in the day, you're probably too young, but back in the day when the 2388 had a standard rotor compared to one with an AFX rotor, right? Did you necessarily put a $2,000 extra value because of that AFX rotor? Well, heavens no. There's 30% margin on parts. There's labor to install it. I mean, I'm not going to say that there's no value, but to answer your question, not a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Value is what somebody's willing to pay for it. And I agree. And you're not the first person that's told me that either. That it's a goose egg when it comes to those for the trade-in. If it still has value to the farmer, and that's the way it goes for us, then you unbolt it and you put it aside and you rebolt it onto whatever else you buy.
I know Casey Seymour. I know that you know him, but he talked about it for years in terms of that planter. Sure, go buy the toolbar from the planter or from an auction, right? And there's how many unsold 24-row 30s? There's got to be 700, 800 unsold 24-row 30s. Pick a color. They're all kinds.
Yep.
Go out, buy the bar, buy it from an auction, dump everything off, put all new row units on it. For sure, yeah, that's a different thing. It does have value. Not the $150,000 that you might have put into it, but in that particular case, yes, the upgrade kit has value.
That's a good way to put it. Okay. Before we make any precision people take that us any more than let's go on. So I've talked to a lot of financial institutions, but especially this year, last 6 months, there's a lot more chatter about leasing, a lot more interest in leasing. Do you guys see that as well at Titan?
Yeah, another part of my job is that we do the lease returns, right? We help facilitate to help keep the stores aware of when their lease maturities are coming up. So I've been pretty heavily involved in the number of leases per year. Our number really has not fluctuated a great deal, even during the COVID years. So when you asked me that question, and I saw it on your earlier notes, there was a little bit of a spike, but I want to. I'm going through some data points in my head. There's a lot of files up there. I'm just trying to grab the right one, right?
Yeah.
I do think that there's going to be more leases just because of the price, right, of the equipment. Although manufacturers are getting, we all know manufacturers, they're going to minimize their risk completely. They're going to shift that risk to the dealerships and or shift that risk to the customer. And with the tax laws and stuff like that, it hasn't been as advantageous to do leases, right? And again, back to the manufacturers got hurt so bad, 16, 17, because it was their finance companies that was carrying the paper, correct? And all that inventory and all that residual that they set a residual for 100 and now it's worth 50.
Right.
And that was billions of dollars. So you saw a little bit of dip on leasing just because the rules changed so drastically. I do think, to answer your question, I do think there'll be more leasing going on And one of the primary reasons, I think, is because that farmer with assets on his books, when you buy something, right, it's an asset to your books, finance it.
Yep.
At the end of the finance contract, you own it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that piece that you bought at whatever value is now lost in a very short time, a whole lot of value. Some of the leases that you can do is that you can walk away from that lease, right? Short answer to your question, yes, I do think there'll be more leases, just not a ton that I think most people might think, because the rules have changed so drastically from the manufacturer to the finance companies. They keep shifting that risk away from their books.
No, that's a good answer, and it's a good historical perspective too, to kind of understand what happened back in 15 and 16.
Yeah.
And they have an institutional memory of what that was like, and so they're going to respond differently.
It's called shareholders.
Yeah, they don't forget.
I on the our side of the fence, or our side of the paint stand, I know how many pieces of equipment that they got stuck with, and there was a ton. All those combine leases. I mean, me and you both know, because you see the auction data, but those combines, you can start losing $100,000, $200,000 per piece if you're not watching your P's and Q's.
Right.
And even when you are watching your P's and Q's,
It's still going to happen.
it's still going to happen. Just not as much, though.
Last question I do want to ask you, though, is a piece of advice that you've received that's applicable now. And you've already given me tons of advice, so you can repeat it if you want. But so in today's times, what's a good piece of advice that you received, or you just think that other people should keep in perspective?
Is that when you go home at night and you can ask yourself, did you do a good day's work? Did you do some good things? If you can answer yes, it was a good day. And you ask yourself that every day. When you get up in the morning, we choose. I mean, we literally choose whether we're going to have a good day or a bad day. Well, choose how you want to be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's our choice. There's my advice. Choose how you're going to approach each day, because literally it is your choice.
That is fantastic. I mean, we're going to have a whole list of Don quotes out of this podcast. This is.
I will tell. Okay, here's one more. When you're cleaning the sinks in the bathroom, okay, make sure
on Tuesdays and Thursdays
you use the blue stuff, right, and spray away from you, not at you.
Okay, I'm going to take that you've got some personal experience there.
There you go. Yes, I do.
Good deal. Well, Don, hey, I appreciate the time. I appreciate the fatherly advice that you bestowed, not just on me, but all the listeners. And yeah, your perspective and what Titan is doing has been good. Certainly helpful.
So what you just told everybody is that I'm old.
Older. It's all relative, right? It's like,
Older, okay.
You're showing it in the beard right now.
Give a shout out to Blake Harvin down in Pella, Iowa, where Andy is sitting at today. Titan Machinery. Oh, look at that. He's got that poignant thing right up to Titan Machinery.
Really good at that.
Dude, this under the hood thing is pretty good. You keep doing it, okay?
Yeah, I appreciate Titan and appreciate you, Don, and look forward to seeing you at Moving Iron here in a little while.
See you in Nashville, buddy. Take care.
Okay, take care. Thank you.